7:30, and that means we know what time it is.
And won't let nothing hold me down. Gotta do
Hey, Toya.
Because I may not get another chance.
We are on our 28 days of accountability.
If I want it, I can have it. I believe it.
And today is day 12. That means we got 16 more days to go. We are almost halfway there.
Tell myself again, I can do it. Yeah. And I'm not gonna stop till I win. It's my time to rise. Hey. It's my time to shine. Oh. It's my time to live. It's my time to live. It's my time to fly. Oh, it's my time. It's my time. She's a diva, yeah. She's a diva full of drama. Don't believe her.
Y'all know this our opening song from now on. It is my time. It's my time to live, my time to shine. It's my time.
And ain't nobody got time for that. See, my moment has now
Morning, Terrell. Thank you so much for joining. You've been on this journey since we started day one, and I appreciate you for being my A1 day one. Hey, Marquita. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning, Miss Carol, all the way from Mississippi. Good morning, Shanta. Thank you so much for joining. So again, I thank you all so very much for joining each and every morning. We are on day 28 of accountability. And oh my God, we have seen and we've been learning and we've been on this journey together. Today is day 12. Can you believe it? We've made it 12 days. We've made it 12 days already. Oh my God. I didn't think I would be able to get up and do this every morning. So I am not only holding you accountable, but I'm holding myself accountable as well. So thank you all again for joining, and for the person that lasts with me for all 28 days, I'm going to have a special treat for you, a special gift for you. So I'm going to have to get some addresses. So I know already that I have one person that's been with me for the entire 12 days so far since day one. So we'll see if I have anyone else. I'm going to take the first, we're going to do the first 3 people, right? The first 3 people that have been with me all 28 days. I have one person in mind already, so we'll see what happens with the rest of the days if they are able to stick it out until the end. But again, we are starting from now on every morning with that song, It's My Time to Shine, It's My Time to Live. It is my time, because I want to make sure that everyone, when you leave this call, you are inspired, motivated, encouraged to do what it is that you need to do in order to walk in your purpose. That's the ultimate goal, is that we are all walking and living in our purpose. So I am thankful for our new guests that are watching today. I really appreciate you as well. I ask that you continue to log back in every morning at 7:30 and be on this journey with the rest of us of accountability. So for day 12, we are talking about how to know when accountability is your problem. How do we know when accountability is our problem? We talked about yesterday what is accountability, And so today we're going to be talking about how do I know when accountability is a problem of mine, And so for those of you who are new and are just joining the call for the first time, my name is Ebony Moncho, and I am a motivational speaker, an accountability coach, and the CEO of 360 HR Solutions. I teach entrepreneurs, leaders, and influencers how to build success. And we do that by helping them to build and to create structure, to develop processes, and to implement solutions that are sustainable. So that's what we're working on. That's what the 28 days of accountability is, getting our solutions in order so that way they are sustainable throughout our lives. That means they stay, they stick, and we can always go back and draw from them. When things get tough, we can go back and draw from them. So for today, again, we are talking about how to know when accountability is a problem. Is it my problem? Am I suffering from accountability? So if you are a leader, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are an influencer, or even if you are a winner, if you know deep down inside that you are a winner, you should ask yourself a few questions. Y'all, this earring just don't want to stay on this morning. It don't want me to be great. It keeps falling in my ear. So we'll just leave it off. You should ask yourself, to whom am I accountable and for what? Right? We just want to start out immediately asking ourselves that question. Who am I accountable for and why am I accountable to them? Right? Or that thing, maybe you don't feel like you're accountable to a person. Maybe you're accountable to a thing or to a company, or, you have to figure out to whom am I accountable for and for what reason? So I hope you came prepared with your pens and your pads, your journals, your notebooks, whatever it is that you're keeping your information in, because these are questions that, of course, the answers may not come to you on the call, but I want to make sure that you have them so that way when the call is over and you are on your lunch break or you are back at home for the evening, then you can go back and you can reference the questions that we talk about, so that way you can do the soul searching that's necessary to come up with the answer. So to whom am I accountable for and for what reason, right? So make sure we write those questions down, and then we need to think about where does our accountability lie when it comes to family, when it comes to friends, when it comes to ourselves? So we have to write these things. We are listing this out. So this is like 1, 2, 3. So you're going to write, where does my accountability lie when it comes to my family? ... Right? And then you're going to fill that in. Where does my accountability lie when it comes to my friends? Where does my accountability lie when it comes to myself? And when we think about ourselves, we want to think about ourselves in a holistic way, right? So we want to think about our health. We want to think about our personal and professional growth, because both areas are important. We want to grow personally, and then we want to grow professionally. And then we don't want to leave out the spiritual side. So we want to make sure that we are listing out, where does our accountability lie in our spirituality? We want to have that listed down, because if that is an area of growth that we have, then we want to be aware of it so that way we can work on it. So do you already have an accountability system set up in those places that I just listed, right? Family, friends, yourself, and in your spiritual journey. Do you have an accountability system set up already? And if you don't, then it's not a problem. It's not too late. We can start today to start to develop an accountability system in each of those areas, because those are like the core areas, the 4 core areas of our life. Well, 5, because we want to say personal and professional growth. So those are the key areas of our lives. So we want to make sure that we have a system already aligned, because we already talked about accountability is making sure that we are responsible. And how do we be responsible to ourselves? We have to have a developed plan. We have to have a system. We have to have SMART goals. And we talked about those. So if you missed the call, the days that we did SMART goals, I say go back, subscribe to my YouTube channel, so that way you can get the prior days where we went over SMART, and we had an extra a letter that we added to SMART. So it was SMART squared, right? SMART with that T, with that little 2 over the top of that 2. So I want you to go back and take a look, so that way when you are developing your action plan, when you are developing your accountability system, you are doing it in a way that you can then stay consistent to what you set up. Now, we also want to talk about whether or not if we are accountable in our integrity, because that's important as well. You know, even though we may be accountable to people or to ourselves or to our spiritual journey, we have to think about our integrity level. Are we accountable as it relates to integrity? Are our values aligned with our accountability? Do we have sound judgment? Do we make proper decisions, or are we impulsive? And then what is our vision for the future? So all of those are important when we are putting together our accountability system. So I hope you wrote those things down. Are you accountable in your integrity, in your values, in your judgment, in your decisions? And then does your vision for your future align with your integrity, values, judgments, and decisions, right? We want to make sure that our vision, our mission, our overall focus is aligned with each one of those areas. So now, if you have your pen and your paper together, I have 7 questions that I want to ask you. And as the preacher would say in church, you don't have to raise your hand if it's an ouch. If it hits you, don't worry about it. You don't have to raise your hand, but I want you to write it down on your paper, so that way you can go back and you know the areas that you need to focus on. So the first question is, do I spend more time complaining? The Jeopardy music plays, give you an opportunity to write that down and to write down your answer. Do I spend more time complaining? Number 2, do I often procrastinate? Am I a procrastinator? Do I procrastinate? Do I put off for tomorrow the things that I can do today? Do I have a book that's finished and I haven't, it's already done, but it's just sitting on the shelf. I haven't did anything with it yet, right? So think about those things. Do you procrastinate? Do you have homework? For all of my Argosy classmates that are on the line, do you have homework like Ebony and you wait until the last minute? You know that the end of the semester is Friday and you are 5 weeks behind in doing your homework. Do you wait until Thursday night to start doing your homework? Right? Number 3, am I jealous of other people's accomplishments? You want to write this down. Am I jealous of other people's accomplishments? Because that's something that we need to think about when we are putting together our accountability system. Because ultimately, we need to be accountable to who? To nobody but ourselves. So am I jealous of other people's accomplishments? Number 4, am I spending time on things that are producing good fruits? Am I spending the majority of my time on things that are producing good fruit? Or am I spending a lot of my time on social media? You know, do I have the scroll finger syndrome? I spend a lot of my time on social media. Am I spending time on the phone with my girlfriends gossiping about somebody else? Do I spend a lot of my time worrying about what other people are doing? Or am I spending time on things that are producing good fruit in my life? That's a question. Are you? Only you can be truthful and honest with yourself to answer that question. Number 5, do I tend to blame others or do I play the victim role often? Do I spend a lot of my time blaming other people? Do I have that victim mindset? It's never my fault. It's always somebody else's fault. I did everything I was supposed to do. I did everything right. And you know what? Stuff just keeps happening to me over and over again. And I don't know why, because I'm doing it all right. Is that your attitude? Number 6, do I tear down others with my actions or my words? Do I tear down others with my action or my words? These are hard questions that we have to ask ourselves. But in order for us to get on our journey of accountability, in order for us to create an action plan, in order for us to create a system and some structure and develop a process for accountability, we have to start here with these hard questions. So do I tear down other people with my mouth or with my actions? You know, some of us, that tongue, we will cut. Baby, I'm coming for you in a minute. I go from 0 to 100 real quick, right? Are you quick to speak? Is that you? Are you able to shut a person down and, without even thinking about it? And is that with your actions? Is that with your mouth? We want to make sure that we are honest with ourselves. And then the last question is, when problems arise, do I run away? Do I run away when the going gets tough? Do I get going? Do I have a fight or a flight kind of spirit? Which one is it? Do I flight every time when the devil arises, and he comes after me? Because we already know, we said that he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So when that starts to happen, do I run away? Is that what I do when problems come? So those are the 7 questions that I want you to think about. If you didn't get an opportunity to write them down during the call, go back and listen to the replay. I upload every day the videos to YouTube. Listen to the replay. Jot the answers down to those questions. And in your quiet reflection time, when you are meditating, meditate and ask God to reveal to you the true answer. And we talked about yesterday, if we are unable to ask ourselves those hard questions, if we really want to move forward and be a better person and be accountable, then we ask the people around us. We ask those that are close to us, right? We ask them, how am I showing up for you? What am I doing? How do you see me? Because trust me, people are going to be honest, and sometimes they're going to be brutally honest. So if we are ready for change, right? If we are ready to do some personal transformation, then we can ask the people that are around us, how am I showing up? Ask them, do I spend a lot of time complaining? Do you see me as a procrastinator? Right? Have I ever had a conversation with you that demonstrates that I'm jealous of other people? When problems happen in my life, do you see me running away? Like, you can ask people around you. They trust me. They will tell you, but you have to be ready. So we have to pray first and ask God to make sure that we don't have that spirit of defense, right? Because anytime somebody is giving us constructive feedback or constructive, because I don't like to say criticism, I like to say constructive feedback. So anytime people are giving us constructive feedback, that defense wall automatically comes up. I know it does for me, and we have to make sure that we then quiet that. So there are times when we are getting the constructive feedback, we may want to just sit in silence and don't say nothing. Just take notes. Just write down what people are saying. So then that way, when we get out of our feelings later on, we can really go back and meditate on what was said so we can do what's necessary to change their perception and change their image of us, because one person's perception is their reality. So we want to make sure that we are showing up as the best person that we can be. So now, if you had more yeses out of those 7 questions than you had no's, then we know that accountability is my problem, right? We're going to be honest. And as Miss Van Zant says, we're going to call a thing, right? So accountability, yes, is my problem. Now what? Now what do I do, Ebony? Accountability coach Ebony, what do I do when I know that accountability is my problem? Well, I'm going to give you one quick tip on what you can do when you recognize that accountability is your problem. And then we're going to go ahead and get off of here for today. If accountability is your problem, the one thing that I want you to do is stop accepting mediocrity. Stop accepting the average, right? If accountability is your problem, stop accepting average. And so, Ebony, what does that mean? What does it mean to stop accepting average? Stop accepting being in that medium. Ebony, what does that mean to stop being complacent? What does that mean, Ebony? I will tell you, most average people, they give up. As soon as the tough get going, they give up. They throw in the towel. They wave the white flag. They say, I'm done, right? That's what most people that are complacent, that's what they do. They throw in the towel, they give up, and then they start to complain that they never got what they wanted. Well, how can you get what you want when the journey gets tough, when those landmines that we talked about, when they start to form, if you give up before you get to the end of the journey? We referenced that movie Bird Box, right? And if you haven't seen it, I say go and watch it, because that is a true representation of being accountable. Not only was she accountable to herself, she was accountable to those children. And one of them wasn't even her own biological child, but she was accountable, right? And so because she was accountable, no matter what came their way, she figured out, she kept going. She was determined to get to a place where they could live and not have to live in fear and not have to worry about whether or not, if that plague that had came over their town, whether or not if that was going to get her and her children. She was determined to get to that place. But it took her a minute to get that in her mind, right? Our minds have to catch up with our actions and with our hearts. So we need to start out with our minds, right? So stop accepting complacency. Stop accepting being average. And of course, we already know things will get hard. God did not promise us that the journey was going to be easy. So if anybody out there that's watching today think that the journey is going to be easy, then I tell you right now, you are sadly mistaken and you are fooling yourself. The journey is not going to be easy. We know that already. So I want to let you know, you will cry. You will get frustrated. You'll have feelings of being afraid. Even anger will rise up. But when the average person stops getting up, right, that means that they have given up. And so I want you to rise. I want you to continue to rise. I want you to be a renaissance, right? Be a renaissance. Continue to rise up above. Come out of it, right? You have to rise. You have to get up. Never surrender. Never give up, and never settle for anything less than. We are the heirs of the King, right? And he has promised us greater. So that means that we don't have to settle for being average. In Isaiah chapter 43, verses 1 and 2, in the Message Bible, it says, don't be afraid, for I have redeemed you. I've called your name and you are mine. When you're in over your head, God says, I'll be there with you. That's what it says. Isaiah 43, 1 and 2. When you're in over your head, I'll be with you. When you're in rough waters, he said, you will not go down. You will not drown. When you're between a rock and a hard place, it won't be a dead end. Because I am your God. I am your personal God. So isn't that good news to know that we are not on this journey alone? So normal, this is a quote by Jodie Foster. Normal is not something to aspire to. It's something to get away from. It's something to run from. Being normal, when people tell you that you are normal, or when you feel like you are normal, you know it's time to get up and do something different. Pastor Sparks used to always say that's the definition of being insane, continuing to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So normal is not something that we want to aspire to. We want people to walk up to us and say, girl, it's something different about you. It's something peculiar about you. It's something strange about you. That's what we want to hear when people come in contact with us. If normal is what you are, as we said before, I beseech you to get away from normal. I want you to be peculiar. So when you are setting up your accountability system, be honest with yourself, so that way you can then start the journey of being different, of being peculiar, right? So you know what, as we end this call today, because I keep saying that I'm only going to hold you for 15 minutes, but for some reason, I'm going to have to work on that, y'all. I'm going to have to work on that. But I say to you to get it or die trying, right? Get it or die trying. That is the attitude of a winner. And how many winners do I have on the line today? If you are a winner, type right now, winner. If you are a winner, type winner. And if you are a winner, that means that by any means necessary, I'm going to get it or I'm going to die trying, right? I'm going to give it my all each and every day. When I step outside of my door, I'm going to be in my mind, I'm going to be saying that I am a high performer. I am a winner. So if I'm a winner, I see these winners coming through. That's right, Christina, you're a winner. Brittany, you're a winner. Davide, you're a winner. Reba is a winner. Carol is a winner. If you are a winner, Terrell is a winner. That means that you're going to get it or you're going to die trying to get it, right? Normal is no longer who you are. You are peculiar and you are set apart. That's right, Rashana. You are a winner. You are set apart. Get away from being normal. And if your circle, if you are the smartest person in your circle, baby, change circles, because there is no room for you to grow there. You have to be in a circle of people that are where you are trying to go. So if you have already reached the maximum level with a group of people that surround you, then it's time to locate a new home. It's time to locate a new group of people to be around, because then there's no growth happening for you there. We must grow. We must grow. We have to continue to learn. So you have to surround yourself with people that are at a higher level than where you are, so you can grow, so your visions can manifest, and so you can walk in your ultimate divine purpose of who God has called you to be. So thank you very much for joining on day 12 of our journey. How do I know when accountability is my problem? I am so grateful for everyone that continues to join each and every day. I thank you so much. And again, my name is Ebony Moncho. I am a motivational speaker and accountability coach and the CEO of 360 HR Solutions. I teach entrepreneurs, leaders, and influencers how to build success. And I do that by helping them to create structure, to develop processes, and implement solutions that are sustainable. It is your time.
It's my time to live. It's my time.
It is your time. Thank you so much, and see you again tomorrow morning at 7:30.